Good morning. I am here again. My name is Rose Dunn. I am a realtor in the state of Texas. I'm here with my good friend, my VP mortgage, Miss Julia Davis. Today we are going to talk about VA loans. So let's get to business. So I'm gonna let Julia introduce herself. So
Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, wherever it is you're watching. My name is Julia Davis. I'm with Guaranteed Rate. Been in the mortgage lending for about 20 years, and I'm here to help you understand a little bit more about VA loans today.
Okay, so let's get down to business, Julia. So, since you've been in the mortgage industry, I know you are not a veteran, so there is some technical stuff we are not going to talk about. We are just going to give our viewers some general answers on what is VA. What is VA? Can you go a little bit over that?
Yeah, so VA, the initials actually stand for Veterans Administration, right?
Mm-hmm.
So VA loans are typically for our vets. These are people who have been in active duty. And let's go over that because I definitely wanted to make sure that I give you the definition for that.
Mm-hmm.
So these are service members who have been in military combat or geez, I just lost it. Anyway, you have to have been in the military in active duty at least for 90 days. And outside of that, it has to be at least for 6 months of non wartime.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in the reserves, you have had, or National Guard, you have to have been in the service at least for 6 months. And you do have to have been honorably discharged. Then you will be eligible for a certificate of eligibility in order to get a VA loan. So that's kind of in a nutshell what the requirements are.
Okay. So let's talk about the VA. What is the loan amount for our veterans? Because I love our veterans. I know I'm not from here in the US, but I am greatly appreciative of my vet because of the freedom they are giving us. So we are here to help and to serve them. So what is the
Yes,
loan
yes.
amount? Can you
So, of course,
elaborate?
I'm going to jump on the bandwagon with you and definitely honor our veterans because they do put themselves in the line of fire for us, protecting us in war and peace. So we definitely honor them. In Texas, we have a max loan amount of about 548,250 is the max loan amount in Texas.
Mhm.
Of course, each person is not only are we looking at your certificate of eligibility, you too have to go through the qualification of your income and your debt to income ratios. So, regardless of the certificate, we also have to make sure you qualify for the payments and things of that nature as well. So, it's not an absolute guarantee because you still have to credit qualify, you still have to debt to income qualify, but it is there to say that the VA will guarantee or insure a certain amount or up to a certain amount of a loan amount, depending on what you take out.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see, we still have some technical difficulty with internet. It is actually storming outside. We are under tornado watch in Texas,
Woo.
so
You see how dedicated we are? See, we're very dedicated.
yeah. So let's talk. Since you said if you still have to go with the qualification, so is there a credit score minimum they have to be in? Because I know each lender is different
Mhm.
and the credit score. So what is the credit score for guarantee rates for VA?
For guaranteed rate, we have a minimum credit score of 600. And let me just say this that we also, at guaranteed rate, because we love our veterans so much, we charge no lender fees to do a loan with guaranteed rate. That's our way of saying thank you to our veterans. And you're looking at a savings of over $1,400. So that's definitely a benefit to our veterans, and we really appreciate our veterans. So that's something that we do as well.
Okay. You know, sometimes I know when we were talking about, I didn't mention it, there
Mhm.
is some down payment. Can AVA still get down payment in the back end to cover some of the costs if they don't have
Absolutely.
the
So most veterans will opt to do 100% loan. So let's talk about that for a quick second. So VA loans can go up to 100%. And again, those are depending on their qualifications as far as their entitlement and things like that, right?
Okay.
So a veteran can go up to 100%. So if the sales price is 250,000, they could potentially do a loan for 250,000. That would require no down payment. So that's where the 100% portion comes in. It does not cover closing costs. So yes, if they do need additional closing costs and they do qualify for down payment assistance, then again, as long as they qualify within the realms of the down payment assistance
Yeah.
program, yes, they can combine the two.
Okay. Let's go over entitlements for a minute. Who is entitled? Can you explain that?
Yeah. So again, it's the same qualifications that we talked about previously about active duty service that you've had in the military during active wartime. I believe that's 90 days. And of course, if you are a veteran, you have to have been honorably discharged from the service. So a DD 214 is going to be required. If you cannot find your certificate of eligibility, most lenders are able to pull those for you so that we can calculate for you how much you are entitled to. And again, that's also subject to your own income and debt to income ratios. But we definitely can help with that. And you know, you just have to talk to your lender. So, you know, like
Yeah.
me, you can always call and find out how much you qualify for and what you can do to help.
Okay. So well, let's say if a veterans already have a loan on the first home,
Mhm.
can they get a second loan for VA?
Yeah. So let's talk about funding fee and what that means. Okay. So if there is a charge on every loan for a veteran, it is 2.3% if they are doing their very first loan. Now, of all the things, that is the only thing that is allowed to be rolled into your loan as a cost. So the only cost that is allowed to be rolled into your loan amount is your funding. So for the first time you use it, it is 2.3%. If you use it a second time, it is 3.6%. You can either pay it as part of your closing costs, or again, you could roll it into your loan. And most people do opt to roll it in just to kind of keep the cost down. If you are a disabled veteran, that fee is waived. Okay. And that's over 10% disability, I believe, then you can have that funding fee waived. So when we're going over the funding fee part, how much can we qualify for? Again, back to that same thing. We still have to go over what you are bringing in for income, how much you can qualify for here, and then we put it all together. Okay. And I'm so sorry, I got so tied up on funding fee. What was your question?
That's
I'm getting
okay.
old.
Well, we were talking about the entitlement. I think you already covered
Right.
questions,
Okay.
but
So most of the time, what the veterans will see, and thank you for helping me get back on track
yeah.
here. What most of the veterans are going to see is a certificate of eligibility. Most people will have entitlement amount of about 36,000 on there. Okay. So there are calculations that we have to go through to figure out how much they are eligible for. Again, it can go up to that 548, 250 that we talked about here as a max loan amount here insurable. There are ways potentially in certain states or counties to go to a higher amount. I won't go into major details on that one. However, you do have the ability to use that entitlement amount. Is really just telling you how much is the VA going to insure. VA loans are very special because they don't have private mortgage insurance in the loan. So, for instance, compared to an FHA or conventional loan, if you're putting minimum down payments of 5%, 3.5%, 3%, they have private mortgage insurance, which is on each loan. It's an additional payment
Yeah.
or additional line item that they're making in their payment every month.
Yes.
And because veterans have a funding fee, but they don't have that monthly payment, it does allow them to qualify for a little bit more of a sales price than they normally would if they did a FHA or a conventional type loan.
Okay. Okay, so let's talk about that.
Mhm,
When a VA applying for a loan, they qualify, they are now looking at home, get under contract. So
mhm.
there used to be some requirement with the seller pay for some costs.
Mhm.
So is the seller still responsible to pay for like the pest inspections and or home
No.
inspections or?
No, so that has definitely changed. So prior, it used to be that we would have it would be required that the seller had to pay for the pest inspection, which is the termite inspection, which you're talking about, and that is no longer the case. So the borrower can pay for that. So that is not a requirement for the seller to pay anymore.
Okay. So can a veteran buy a home that is not in living standard so they want to like do some upgrade? Can they do a loan where they um like a jumbo loan where they do the repairs afterwards, or is that a different type of loan?
Yeah, so veterans can do renovation type items, is what you're talking about.
Yes.
And you can always do what things like escrow holdbacks, which means that they can put repairs into the loan amount based on whatever types of, things that are can't be structural type things,
Yeah.
right? For an escrow holdback. But the typical, you want to have a home that's move-in ready.
Yes.
Of course, with all loans, you don't want to have any safety issues in the home. You don't want to have exposed wires. You don't want to have the roof caving in on you. Things of that nature, no mold in the house. Those are things that are going to disqualify not only just a loan for a veteran, but pretty much anybody.
Okay.
But they do want to see that the house is in working order. Again,
In
it will
condition.
change it to a different loan type if there's major issues.
Okay. So, for veterans that is working, but they are not making enough money to to purchase a property, can they get a co-signer? So, who is able to co-sign with them?
Yeah, most loans are for a veteran. You're only allowed to have the spouse on the loan. There are special circumstances that will allow another person to be on the loan, and
Mhm.
I would definitely go over those things with your lender to see if they qualify for that. But most of the time, it has to be the spouse on the loan with the veteran. If not, they're usually not on there. And again, there's special circumstances, especially if there's more than one vet.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, let's say, a spouse, because we know with the World War II, World War One, and then Iraq, the spouse missing in actions. Can the surviving spouse qualify for a VA loan?
Absolutely. Your if your veteran has been in, like you said, any sort of active duty, wartime, and wartime can, I mean, we have a lot of peacekeeping things that are happening that we don't even know about.
Mhm.
A lot of missions that are happening. But if a spouse, if that veteran was eligible for that certificate of eligibility based on his time of service and his status, then of course the surviving spouse would be able to use that veteran certificate of eligibility as long as they did not remarry. So, they can use it anytime prior to them being remarried, if that was the case, if they needed to use
Okay. So the same way, the same thing with FHA, you see a lot of sellers in today's market, they don't want to accept a loan that is FHA because of requirement. They don't want to do certain things. And I cannot imagine for VA because there is veteran that decided, you know what, the market is too high. They are not accepting their offer. They it's like, okay, we have to wait, or they sometimes they'll go to a new construction. What will be one thing you will tell the seller in today's market for veteran
it. I
plan?
mean, no, the greatest thing you can do is honor your veterans. That's the first. I would tell people, don't be afraid of a VA loan. A veteran is not the loan is not a plague. If your house is in decent order, there's usually not going to be any major issues with the home. Again, if there's major construction, if there's major things, of course, then yes, you may want to be, considerate of those things. However, the VA loan is not something that is anything to be afraid of. There's no fees that are associated from the seller side. So there's no extra money coming out of your pocket. And, they're getting 100% financing. So most of them are anyway. So you're not looking at anything that a seller would have to come out of pocket for. Most people have their homes in some sort of move-in ready. It doesn't have to be, like 100% renovated or anything to that effect. It just has to be in good livable condition. So don't be afraid of, selling your home to a veteran. And it doesn't take any more time to do a loan for a veteran than it does any other loan. So that's another myth that I've heard a lot. Oh, VA loans take forever to do. And that is completely untrue. So it takes just as much time to do an FHA conventional loan than it does to a veteran. And you're honoring their service. So it's a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous loan.
So basically, that's the least a seller can do because you sleeping at night. You don't have to worry about your house getting destroyed, get bombed like other countries because of the service members. So the least they can do
Yeah.
is say, you know what, I because some veterans may not be in a positions to go over asking price like in today's market. So that's might be one of the reason why also they don't want to because they are getting that extra 10,000, 20,000, and they say okay. So some people might see it like that, but we are going to stop it here for today. So I'm going to let Julia goes over her to give you guys her information. If you are in the market for a video loan, you are out of state thinking about moving to Texas, this is the way to go. Just contacted us and follow us on YouTube, and we are on Facebook, we are in Instagram. So there is no reason for you not to subscribe to our channel because we bring video like this all the time. So Julia, how can somebody get in touch with you?
Well, again, Julia Davis at Guaranteed Rate. They can always reach me by email at julia.davis@rate.com. They can also call me by phone, 832-282-9033. Again, 832-282-9033. And of course, they can always like and subscribe at the video, and they can leave comments. And, if they have questions, leave comments, and, we'll be able to help find them.
Yes. Okay. So thank
And
you guys
Facebook,
for
you can
watching.
find us on
Yes, thank
Facebook.
you guys for watching, and thank you for subscribing and share our video. If you get in touch with me, believe me, the first person you're going to talk to for a loan will be Miss Julia. So again, thank you, and we will be back with more video like this. And thank you for watching. Bye bye.
All right. Bye-bye.